I'm Tim Creasman. This is my wife, Caroline Creasman, and we've been married for 5 months. I first heard about New City because of a competition, actually, that Dylan and Adam Pickard were doing. They were trying to get 125 people to come to the church. This was, I think, 4 years ago, about. If they got 125 people to come, they would both get in those giant inflatable sumo suits and battle each other. But it got me to come to New City, so it worked for one person at least.
I started coming to New City because of Tim. I loved the other church I was going to, but was just naturally getting discipled already by Christina and by other people at New City as well. So it just made more sense to come to New City. I was more connected there anyway.
I remember the first time I came to New City, Christina came up to me immediately and she was just like, "Hey, who are you? Like, how long have you heard about us? Or like, who did you hear about us from? Like, how long have you lived in the area?" Just immediately all of these questions that made me feel really noticed and just welcomed, like, immediately. And I was like, wow, I haven't felt like this in a church in a long time.
A similar story of why I initially felt like welcome to New City. There's a good balance at New City of sort of sharing the gospel in a way that somebody who didn't know Jesus could sort of latch onto and follow, but also digging in and like staying true to the scriptures and like learning something that somebody who's been a believer for a long time could still like glean something from. One of my favorite memories was a while ago. There was a guy who used to be on the worship team, Sam Jakes. Every once in a while he would lead like worship nights. That kind of environment I just love. Just tons of worship songs, and people would, like, as they felt led, just come up and read scriptures or pray or say something, and everybody just felt so free and relaxed to worship anywhere they wanted to worship, without like the pressure or the breathlessness of a Sunday morning sometimes. And it was a really beautiful time. I still hang on to that memory.
I remember a lot of times just staying late on a Wednesday night after rehearsal, just helping Kevin with odds and ends, just whether it's lighting or anything like that. There's just been a lot of like bonding moments during those times.
If you come to New City and you're new, you won't go unnoticed. Like, somebody's gonna notice that you're new. Somebody's gonna come up and talk to you. It's not a church where you can slip in and slip out of, especially if you like are new. It's not a tiny church, but it's not so big that like people will notice and want to get to know you.
The thing I love most about New City would have to be the music. That's not because I'm on the worship team. Look at me, no. Honestly, it's just because I love playing music, and that's something that New City has really helped me grow in. Before New City, I would not be caught dead on a stage with an instrument. I hated performing in front of people. I had piano lessons as a kid, but it was the rehearsals that made me despise piano and never want to play music ever. And the auditions and all of that stuff was just too much. But here at New City, that's really become a love of mine, just getting to play an instrument and getting to worship with people and people in a band.
One thing that I love about New City is just the community of women, and how I know ladies who are younger than me and can, have sort of find friends in them, and ladies who are the same age as me and ladies who are older than me. And I could say that in all different ages, people who are like my genuine friends. It's been such a rich gift that to get to know ladies who are older than me and who can be mentors, and maybe potentially I can like mentor or have something to share with ladies who are younger than me, the same age. I mean, I learn from anybody, no matter how old they are, but that's been a huge gift at New City. I would say that I got involved with the New City around a lot of like very pivotal moments of my life. So like I graduated college, and then right in the midst of getting to know like New City Church, and then also like engagement and marriage was sort of like mentored by Dylan and Christina and others in the church during that period. And then now being pregnant and we're gonna have our first child and become parents, and like people at New City Church, like in our community group, and other people such as like Jesse and Maddie are like walking with us through that. So I guess maybe growing in prayer and asking for help, and knowing that one way to love people is to ask for their help and lean on them.
So Christmas is very significant to me. It was actually Christmas Day that I first decided to follow Jesus. 10 years ago, or 15 years ago, actually. I was 10 years old. And I just remember the pastor at the time was doing a sermon on guilt, which looking back is an interesting sermon to do on Christmas Day, but for whatever reason. And I remember a line that he was saying, like, as Christians, we don't have to feel guilty. Like Christ has already taken on our sin for us. And I just remember wondering, like, why do I feel guilty about everything all the time? Like something's not right. And so I distinctly remember coming back home and just asking my parents, and like I was in tears because I was like, why am I feeling this way? And they sat me down before I had to like delay Christmas opening. But yeah, I just remember sitting down on a couch talking to my parents, and they explained everything to me, and that was the tipping point where I really accepted Christ into my heart and decided to commit my life to Him.
This year, I feel like the part of Christmas that is the most significant to me is just thinking about Mary. And I don't know, just the fact that she was so young and not even married yet, and then God's like, okay, like you're gonna be pregnant, and I'm sure she just wasn't ready, and like there's so many changes that her body had to go through, and so much the angel told her that must have been so confusing to her, and having a child that's just like, oh, it's so surprising, and wow, I just said an unexpected baby, but that's okay, I have a reason. But yeah, it's like it's a wonderful surprise, and it's interesting to know that for her it was a wonderful surprise too. Merry Christmas, New City, and a Happy New Year.
And a Happy New Year. Can't forget that.
Hey, thanks so much for checking out this video. We upload new videos every week to help encourage you in your faith in Jesus. So be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you never miss a thing.